A 2,000-word chapter-by-chapter summary with concepts definition. Here are 6 important concepts that need to be understood first. 1. The absolute. The absolute is pure abstract spirit prior to any expression in the relative world, the domain of prototype ideals. 2. The relative. The relative is the domain of conditioned manifestation, concrete forms, relativity, and relationships. 3. The subjective mind. The subjective mind is the subconscious, hidden, or inner aspect of the individual mind that reasons deductively and is creative, receptive to suggestion, and connected to universal forces. 4. The objective mind. The objective mind is the conscious, perceptive, or reasoning aspect of the individual mind that reasons inductively based on external facts. 5. The universal mind. The universal mind is the infinite, divine, and unconditioned universal consciousness or spirit which is the source of all manifestation. 6. The universal subjective mind. The universal subjective mind is the subconscious aspect of the universal mind, which is also the creative medium through which forms come into life. The last 2 concepts need to be further explained, so pay attention. The difference between universal mind and universal subjective mind. Short explanation. The universal subjective mind is the subtle creative aspect through which the consciousness or intention of the universal mind comes into manifestation. Longer explanation. The author seems to treat universal mind and universal subjective mind as related yet distinct concepts. The universal subjective mind appears to be a particular aspect or functionality within the broader universal mind principle. The universal mind is described as the omnipresent root intelligence or pure consciousness, the unmanifested source that is of the essential nature of all that manifests across the diversity of creation. It is infinite, unconditioned, and absolute. The universal subjective mind is specifically the subtle feeling-based receptive creative medium through which seed ideas from universal mind express as prototypes then densify into subtle energy patterns, eventually condensing into physical forms. So it is the invisible yet real connective stuff that links form and formlessness, through which pure potentials manifest as particulars. While universal mind is described more as unconditional awareness itself, being the light of consciousness. Universal subjective mind is like the cosmic mental emotional sentient stuff that functions as the canvas on which this awareness paints pictures through interaction with individual minds. Chapter by chapter detailed summary. Chapter 1. Spirit and matter. Spirit means unconditioned thought, unrestricted by time or space limitations. Matter means conditioned form, requiring time and space. Spirit is the originating impulse giving rise to matter/form. The universal spirit behind all creation must be limitless intelligence as the creative force, love to give rise to harmonious systems. By realizing the unity between spirit and matter, we gain creative power over conditions. Chapter 2. The higher mode of intelligence controls the lower. Universal mind follows generic laws for natural evolution. Human mind can recognize these laws to consciously control outcomes. Universal subjective mind deductively follows premises provided by human objective mind. By providing new premises, individual mind controls universal mind's expression. Chapter 3. The unity of the spirit. As spirit is infinite, it must be present simultaneously in its entirety everywhere. This unity allows individual spirit to draw unconditioned knowledge and power from universal spirit. Recognizing this unity enables consciously creating instead of creating by default. The unity of spirit means all we have to do is realize something in the subjective to bring it into the objective. There are no limits of time, space, or conditions on the absolute plane. Chapter 4. Subjective and objective mind. Objective mind works inductively, analyzing external observations. Subjective mind works deductively based solely on premises given to it. Impressing ideas onto subjective mind enables influencing body and surroundings. Subjective mind in itself is impersonal and creative, only taking on personality given by the objective mind. This explains hypnotic demonstrations of the power of suggestion to change thoughts, sensations, and health. Chapter 5. Further considerations regarding subjective and objective mind. Voluntary and sympathetic nervous systems link the conscious and subconscious minds. Daily impressions shape automatic subconscious habits. We can deliberately impress new ideas to reshape subconscious patterns. We must guard our thoughts to only impress what we once objectified. The subjectified thought then becomes the seed for further growth. Chapter 6. The Law of Growth. This chapter explains the law of growth as the principle governing how concepts and conditions manifest from the unformed potential of spirit. The seed analogy is used to illustrate this law. Growth results organically from the innate vitality within a seed itself rather than from external construction. Similarly, mentally holding an idea acts like a seed prototype containing inherent power to grow and attract necessary conditions for manifestation. Just as a gardener trusts the inherent life force within a seed to unfold into a plant, we must trust the innate potential within our mental prototypes to materialize into physical forms. Attempting to forcibly control the process through anxious external effort indicates a lack of faith in the law of growth, creating struggle. Instead, we must realize the desired prototype already exists complete in potential form on the spiritual plane. Then we detach from details and let the law of attraction naturally bring suitable conditions and proper sequence. This understanding enables us to consciously create by using the law rather than being controlled by unconscious default creation. We impress a prototype onto the universal subjective mind and let its inherent nature grow it into manifestation. This law of growth from subjective prototypes applies equally on all planes: physical, mental, moral, and financial. As we recognize all creation results from the interplay of universal forces and individual mind, our concepts of life itself evolve accordingly. In summary, growth follows the innate impulse within a seed prototype rather than external construction. By understanding this law, we can consciously control outcomes that previously seemed automatic. Chapter 7. Receptivity. This chapter discusses how we can access the creative power of the universal mind through recognizing its receptivity to us. The paradox is that the infinite universal mind cannot act on the individual plane unless we recognize a way to connect the two. The bridge between infinite and individual is our subjective mind's relationship to the greater subjective universal mind. Our individual subjective mind is where we plant the seed. The universal mind then grows it into manifestation. For the universal subjective mind to respond, we must realize it has a personal receptiveness to us, like the feeling between two kindred spirits, while also being infinite. We access it by mentally feeling and sensing our unity with it, as pure spirit communicating to pure spirit. This opens intuitive reception. The response we get depends on whether we see it as a benevolent power wanting to expand our good, or as an adverse force. It reflects back our assumptions. Therefore, we must consciously form a mental attitude of reciprocal friendship with the universal mind. It then becomes an ever-present help and source of knowledge. The more we recognize it, the more our limits and difficulties will fall away. Thus, the universal mind is the receptive generative element and our individual mind is the active positive element. Their interplay brings creation into manifestation. Chapter 8. Reciprocal action of the universal and individual minds. The universal subjective mind accurately expresses whatever feelings and ideas we impress upon it through concentrated thought. By habitually impressing beneficial and positive ideas, we can transform the universal mind into an infinite source of knowledge, wisdom, and power for us. As we increasingly recognize our inner unity with the universal mind, its ability to respond to us expands. It becomes a clear conduit for the creative spirit to express ever greater facets of its potential through. We can direct the universal subjective mind by clearly impressing our specific desires and intentions upon it. It then works automatically to fulfill this without needing details of the means. Through consciously reciprocal interaction with the universal mind, our creative powers become limitless. We provide the personal element, and it provides the impersonal infinite energy. This reciprocal relation enables the indivisible whole to grant our individual aspirations while also aligning us with the greater good. Chapter 9. Causes and Conditions. We must distinguish causes from effects to understand the creative process. Thought as a spiritual prototype acts as a primary cause. Physical circumstances are secondary effects of corresponding causes in mental realm. By keeping thought in the unconditioned realm of pure ideas, we can change conditions. This enables intentionally changing conditions by introducing new mental causes. Once started, causes flow naturally into effects without needing to control process. Chapter 10. Intuition. Intuition brings universal abstract principles into particular specified forms as the seed idea. We can deliberately increase our intuitive receptivity in any area through concentration and meditation focused on the universal principles of that area. This brings infinite possibilities into concrete realization. The intuitive ideas come of their own accord into the higher mind. We then concentrate our thought upon them to impress them on the subconscious, which grows them into manifestation. First, we shape a perfected prototype on the spiritual plane through undivided faith. Impressing this original image upon subconscious then attracts corresponding physical forms. Chapter 11. Healing. Healing works by replacing negative thought patterns causing illness with a positive prototype of health. Unwavering concentration on this image, till felt as authentic, causes subconscious to reshape body accordingly. Establishing sympathetic rapport between healer and patient enables this transference effectively through feeling. The healer holds the health pattern until patient's subconscious transforms from abnormal to aligned to it. Chapter 12. The will. Will gives direction, control, and one-pointed concentration, enabling purposeful functioning. It aligns individual with universal mind for creative partnership without imposing rigid strain. Concentrated yet flexible will maintains mental faculties focused on visualization and seed prototype formation. Thereby attachment to specific means is avoided while purposeful attraction of suitable conditions is enabled. The will should not be used to generate personal energy, but to direct the infinite energy of the greater mind. Forcing leads to strain and resistance rather than growth. Chapter 13. In touch with subconscious mind. Recognizing the universal subjective mind is the way to consciously control conditions rather than being controlled by them. We impress thoughts, ideas, and desires onto it through concentrated meditation with complete confidence in the law bringing the results. This overcomes limitations and misuse of creative power by recognizing its true nature and relation to universal mind. To impress an idea on the subconscious. Consciously think of the idea, conceive it as already complete in the absolute. Transfer the completed idea through habit of repetition. The subconscious mind shapes itself to the ideas impressed upon it. Therefore, it will work to automatically externalize the ideas we impress, as per its creative nature. We must avoid negating an idea once impressed, as doubt destroys the mental prototype. The key is realizing the only limits are those we set ourselves, as spirit sees no limits. Chapter 14. The body. The nervous system links mind and body, enabling mental and emotional patterns to directly shape physiology. The subconscious mind builds and sustains the body as precisely reflecting dominant patterns consciously entertained. Deliberately and habitually impressing subconscious with a positive prototype of health induces corresponding form. Chapter 15. The soul. The individual mind has faculties for linking universal potentials to specific contexts. Trained faculties become channels aligning universal creativity to individual needs. Intuition introduces seed ideas from cosmic mind into personal mind. Imagination gives them form, detail, and color representing personality. Chapter 16. The spirit. The ultimate nature of pure spirit is an eternal interaction between love, the cohesive force binding all creation, beauty, the patterns giving form to creation. Love and beauty interact eternally through the creative impulse to manifest particular forms. Our individual unity with pure spirit enables its specific creative expression through us. The ultimate goal is the full expression of infinite creative spirit on the plane of individual consciousness. For this, a supreme universal intelligence works through us by intuition, introduces ideas from universal mind into ours. Imagination, gives intuitive ideas particular form. Will, focuses our mind on unity with the whole. Each faculty enables universal intelligence to create in line with our individuality. The purer our thought, the more directly we become channels for the infinite creative spirit and soul.
Now listen to this again, or listen to the other summaries. Check the links around this video for other summaries of this book and other important books as well. Happy manifesting!